Hi YouTube, it's Lisa. It's been a long time. I thought I was going to be able to release the reveal of my new journal cover at the beginning of this month, and the month got away from me due to some obligations that I had to take care of, and I also lost the footage of what I shot. I want to do this review in parts. So part one is going to be the reveal of my new pen pouch and some ink samples that I got from Goulet Pens. I bought some over the summer. One was a purchase for my cousin, which led me to actually buy some more samples for myself. And I got this handy dandy holder from Goulet Pens because I had already several ink samples from them that I wanted to be able to kind of house them because they were kind of needing to be corralled. It was getting a little bit crazy. Now what I have done is I have picked some samples that I am going to give a demo of today because I have been a fountain pen user for a little bit more than a minute, but it's now exploding where I'm actually starting to want to buy after kind of being in the, I would say, beginner fountain pen area. I'm now wanting to move over into more intermediate or advanced fountain pens and get better quality ones. I've got some inexpensive ones that I love to use, especially when I'm traveling, because if something happens to them, relatively to the cost of a more intermediate pen, they don't cost as much to replace. So let's jump into it. You've seen, like I said, this is a fountain pen caddy for ink samples that I got from Goulet Pen. I have out currently the, hopefully this will all focus in. This is the Artemntis. I'm hoping that I don't butcher this up. Fog Gray fountain pen sample. I also have picked out, I'm going to get this into the camera, this Robert Oster. Let me just get this into focus for you. There we go. And this one is called Thunderstorm. I like my gray inks. We're getting into like the winter and fall. I mean the fall and the winter, so I really want to get some colors that are reflective of this. I also have, this is a Roher and Kingsgrove fountain pen, and let's see here, Scabiosa, I guess is how you pronounce the name for this. So I've got that color, which is, I think, kind of a reddish color. I've got a Colorverse Brunch date, and my default favorite is Noodler's 54 Massachusetts, which is a beautiful rich blue fountain pen ink. If you want to see ink swatches for all the inks that I currently have, please leave a comment in below, but I'm not going to cover them in this video. So, along with these ink samples, which I will show you what they look like, I've also went over to Etsy. I found that one of my favorite paper sizes is a B6 and a B6 Slim. And this year, coming up to the conclusion, I decided to order a Goulet cover for 2021. That's what I'm going to use for like my everyday carry around analog planner. And Hand Stitch Leather Tea opened up her shop, I would say July-ish, I think it was, and I was able to purchase my first Hand Stitch Leather Tea cover, and I've been a big fan of this since Hello Alice, who's out of Austria, did her review on her Gibbon Techo leather cover from Hand Stitch Leather Tea, and it's a couple of years old now, but she's also on YouTube as well, and I just really love how it seemed so supple, and I could never catch up to the shop being open, but I made, in COVID, because I'm sitting at home, I was able to actually set the alarm for when she opened up her store, her shop, and place an order. Now, I made the mistake of getting this in the Hobonichi weeks size, and so with that came the surprise of the color was a little bit off from what I wanted. I just didn't really pay attention enough to details on this, but I love the size of this. I love how it feels. Everything that everybody raves about on YouTube is 100% accurate on this. It's beautifully made. The craftswomanship of this is unbelievable. Now, in doing that, I went out to a shop on Etsy, and I looked for some inserts because it's already, you know, the end of the calendar year. We've only got 1/4 of it left. And I stumbled upon, I've already opened up this package, but I stumbled upon Alora Leathers, and she also does covers. Not quite what I was looking for now. And she's out of Scotland. And I ordered her paper. I ordered in a B6 Slim. Unfortunately, her initial send was in an A5 size. So I've got these A5 notebooks, and she immediately was like, oh my god, I think we said it looks like an A5, and I said it is. And she was gracious enough to turn around quite quickly the B6 Slim size. She goes, it's kind of an unusual size, and you can see here that she sent me a thank you note. But her paper is unbelievable. I did a sample set. I ended up cutting down the ones that she gave me in the A5 size so I could test out, I was so happy to get this, to test out this B6 week size that I realized it was a B6 week. So I started doing, because I did a little bit of, I had to go and travel and see a family member, I should say members. I decided to kind of do my last week. Let me just focus in on this so you guys can see this. I did a little bit of a bullet journal entry for the week that I had to go away. And so I just basically, I have to reveal that. I basically kind of did a little quick bullet journal entry and don't really have a lot. But this takes really well, as you can tell. Looking at the paper, it's not really ghosting really well. I did a Google on my calendar, but as you can tell, it's like very little ghosting is coming through on this. You know, it's like the ability for it to like take fountain pen ink is unbelievable. As a matter of fact, hold on. I have tried out several different fountain pens, and I've just kind of been going through them. But as you can see, like when you write on these various fountain pens that I have listed on this little tiny scrap, you know, I did a platinum Preppy in black. I did a Faber Castell Loom fountain pen using black ink again. I had a Pentel fountain pen, my Tradio, I think is how it's pronounced actually. I did a test on that. Then I used my TSWBI with 34 Massachusetts. I had another Tradio felt tip pen. I had my Lamy Safari and my Kaweco in gray ink. So this is the Kaweco sports pen, fountain pen that I have. Writes really beautifully, but Kawecos can be kind of tricky. This is a fine point, I think, nib. Kaweco is a German manufacturer of fountain pens, and this is medium, and it's got some gray ink in it, and I'll do an ink sample of all these in just a second so you can see it on my new stuff. This is my TSWBI, and this one is the TSWBI, I forgot which one, the Echo. And I've got in here the 54 Massachusetts by Noodler's, which, like I said, is a good default favorite for mine. Excuse me. And then here's my Faber Castell Loom. This one's got now black ink in it, and I can't remember whose black ink. I've got another inexpensive Faber Castell. This is not my favorite fountain pen. The feedback is, there's a lot of feedback. It's fairly inexpensive, but it would be good for travel. Like I said, if something happened to it, I wouldn't be shedding any crocodile tears. This is the Tradio fountain pen that I have from Pentel. This was something that was on my list for a couple of years, and I finally was able to find this on Amazon, because I used to go to a website that was out of Japan, and they used to show them, and I used to want to order from them, but I never did, and I finally got it. This is a juicy writer. So if you like a lot of juice coming out of your, aka ink coming out of your pen, then that would be the pen for you. This is my Pilot Prera fountain pen and a fine point. I love this fountain pen. And this is like a travel size, like a pocket pen is what they call those. It's even a little bit bigger than the Kaweco, which is a true fountain pen. That's a true pocket pen. Let me just bring this down a little bit more so that you guys can see this in a better angle. There we go. And last but least is a Platinum Preppy, which I love these little pens. They're inexpensive. Again, if something happens to them, you're not going to like, oh my god, I spent a lot of money. And they're only like probably $4 or $5 per pen. But the cool thing about the Platinum Preppy is, one, it writes beautifully for what it is. And I think this one is a point on the finial. Let me see what it says. This one is a 0.3. And it's hard to see that on theirs, but they have them in different sizes. Let's see if I can get that to focus in. That's a 0.3. And you can also use ink cartridges and keep using it. So even though the pen is an inexpensive plastic, you can still, switch it out and move up your inks. And if you get a cart converter, you can actually just use regular bottle inks like some of these that I've got samples of. So another thing that I was able to also do, so those are some of the fountain pens that I currently have. I bought a pen roll. Now, I really do want to get a Galen leather, but I'm kind of hearing that, zipper issues, closure. I've been a little bit off-put by Galen leather. Plus, I like their Crazy Horse leather in navy. And the size that I want, which is like, I think, a 12 pen holder, they quite don't have yet. So, on Goulet, I think I got this through Goulet, I found this pen holder, which this is made by, I want to say Ricochet Bagworks, and I just love this. They had this color, and then they had a blue that had a different design. But for my more higher end fountain pens, which the TSWBI would go into, and the Loom, and those pens are like the $30 to $50 range, and the other ones are more like under $20, $30. I'm housing them in here, and I bought a new fountain pen. I've actually bought a couple of new fountain pens that are not inked up, but I want to show you what they are. Some of them are old, 2 of them are old, and I think 3 of them are old, and the rest of them are new. So this one is my Mount Verde, and I absolutely love this pen. Now, it did have a boo-boo accident on my job, and it rolled over and it fell on the floor, and it kind of snapped this band, and I've been able to crazy glue it back together, and luckily for me, it has not come apart. I love this pen. It's got a flex nib. It is a stub pen, so it's got that calligraphy style to it, and let me just focus in on that so that you can see this. It's absolutely a fantastic pen, but I do not have it, I do not have it inked up at all. It's uninked. But it's a great pen. I love this pen a lot. It's a lot of fun to do journaling in. My tried and true, one of the other pens that I have that I absolutely love, not wholly expensive, but it is like I think in the $30 to $50 range if I remember correctly, is the Lamy Safari. I do have this in a 5-point nib. I really do like writing with this pen a lot. This is a great beginner level pen that has really good craftsmanship about it. And it is also a German pen. And then I have another TSWBI. This one is uninked, but this is my vacuum TSWBI. I think this is the 300 vacuum demonstrator pen, and this one also is a fine nib pen. I do not like writing really juicy with my nibs. I actually prefer it to actually dry quite quickly and not take a long time, and fine nibs tend to do that quite well, whereas when you get to medium or the bold nibs, it takes a lot longer. But I'm really pleased with this pen roll-up case because it's great for travel, and it individually protects each one of the fountain pens quite beautifully. Now, new acquisitions, because I did say that I bought a couple of new pens, and one of the new pens that I bought was another Monteverde Special Edition Inova pen, and I absolutely love this pen. The finial is beautiful. It's just well crafted. I love rose gold, so I was really quite happy. It's got a beautiful band that has, oops, let's see here if I can get this in focus for you. It has, it's probably a little hard to see, but it has Monteverde inscribed on it. I think my lighting is going to help blow this out a little bit. But it's just a really well made pen. The balance is great. It does post and a nice click, so you know that it's there. You don't have to worry about is it secure or not. And I love the nib. I just think it's really a beautiful fountain pen. And I did get this one in, I think this is, I had no control over this one, but I think it's a fine point nib. It looks like it's a fine point nib. This also came with a special bottle of ink along with this, and they're selling this like Goulet, and I think this pen ranges, I think it's like $70. So now we're getting into fountain pens that are a little bit more better build, better quality, and a little bit higher price point. But Goulet Pens is now still selling this, and they do have other colors, but I just really loved this rose gold. And they come with a bottle of the Monteverde ink that's like a purple black color. So that is that fountain pen. So let's talk sampling the other, I should say sampling. I got one more purchase today. I'm very excited about it. Like I said, I'm still trying to up my game when it comes to fountain pens. And in the mail today came another platinum pen. Now, I'm really excited about this. I got a bottle of this carbon ink. Two reasons. One, it's permanent. Once it's down and dry, it's not going to lift. Inktober is coming up in the month of October, and I want to use this for some of my sketches. So I really wanted to get a permanent black ink that I knew wouldn't run. That's kind of what I call bulletproof. So looking forward to working with that. I got a converter as well for my new platinum fountain pen. I am very excited about this purchase, guys. I am really trying to increase my fountain pen game and get them slowly, you know, maybe buy a couple of fountain pens a year. I'm going to stop at 20. I know some people have more than that in their collection, but how many fountain pens do you really need? And some people go a lot, but not me. I'm going to try to refrain from buying too much. Let's see if we can get this off. It comes in a wonderful, nice sturdy black platinum brush. So this is the Platinum 3776 Century Black with a fine nib is what I just got done getting. I thought the deal was really good on Amazon. I think they were running some kind of, I don't want to say special, but the price was right for me, and it was in budget. But this is actually a really tricky box to get off. Good God. Sorry, I've got to do this off camera because I just didn't think it was going to be such a hard slide to get out. So it comes in its own little, somebody called this the pen casket, but it does. I'm really looking forward to writing with this pen. I don't know if I'm going to keep the box because the pen's what's really the important thing. And how many boxes do you need to keep a pen cases? Beautiful looking pen. Very pleased. Oh, I wanted to write with a gold nib. And so as I kind of venture into a higher end quality pen, having a gold nib stub indicates that the pen quality is, again, ratcheted up a notch. This is a twist off. Look at that. That's just beautiful. I'm looking forward to writing with this. I don't think they include the cartridge, so hence the reason why I went ahead and bought one. So I want to go ahead and try some of the sample inks with the paper. Sorry guys, if you watch my videos, you know I usually hate all that sound of that, but that's how that just slides into there like that. I'm going to go ahead and just do some dip ink tests with some of the various inks that I just got done telling you the samples about. This posts quite nicely. Perfect. And let me just get one of my notebooks out here. Okay, so I'm going to use the notebook from the place in Scotland. We'll just do some, see how their paper takes to this ink. So we'll just do this as an ink sample. And I have use for this going forward. So let me just get out the, first up, my default favorite. Get some pen flush going over here on the side too. We're going to do the 54 Massachusetts. I'm going to just go ahead and dip this in here. Okay. Oh, I can hear feedback already. Yeah. So this is a really, oops, that one really got some ink on that. Just put this over here. So this is, okay, let's zoom in so that you can see what that looks like. It is a very fine point. It's got some feedback. It's not completely inked. I'm just doing dips, so it's going to probably, but I love how it writes, even though it has the feedback on it. Okay. So let me just kind of clean this pen out. Oh. I am really looking forward to, I could probably even sketch with this pen. It's so nice. Okay, so now I'm going to do the Colorverse Brunch date, which I think this is the color. Actually, I'm going to do that last because I think this is the color I actually want to stick into the pen. I'm going to do the Robert Oster color. Hopefully this will... Yeah, once it's got ink in it, it writes really, really beautifully. So that's the Thunderstorm from Robert Oster. And let's clean this out. Some fluid. Right. So next up is I'm going to do the Artemntis Fog Gray. Kind of keep my colors a little bit consistent here. Okay. So this is Artemntis. This is the fog. Ooh, more of an offline. It's always interesting to write these straddling a tripod and your paper. I don't normally do ink swatches and samples, but this is a special day. My first Gold Nib ink pen. I'm really excited. I will say I've already noticed on the 3776 that you got to be careful about how you post your pen because it can kind of come loose if you're not careful with just using it in your hand. That might be because I'm inexperienced with it, but I am noticing a little bit of it doesn't really click into place like that Montverde did, which is okay. Just got to be aware of it. And you can always not dock it. Now, if you don't, or so not post it. If you don't post it, this pen is it's not the world's biggest pen, but it is very comfortable in my hands. My hands are kind of small. I'm getting ink all over my fingers. It is kind of small, so if you've got large hands, you might find that this is not the best pen to use unposted. But if you've got relatively small hands, and then once you post, you've got plenty of space. Let's see here. Got a couple more here to do, and then we're going to stop with using the Brunch date ink, which will be where I land with this. Okay. Got an air bubble in my ink here. So I'm going to use the Roher Scabiosa. So let me just do that, get that in focus. So this is the one that I'm getting ready to try now. And my apology, guys. I'm just shooting from the hip. I don't normally do these kind of videos where I'm swatching a lot of ink, but I am really getting into fountain pens as my primary pens. Okay, so this is me not really putting my pen in here. There we go. And this color is, I'll just print this out because I don't know how to say it or spell it at this point because it's so new to me. Yeah, that's a nice wink. So, really happy with how the pen writes. I think it's going to be a lot funner once I actually got it fully loaded with ink and I'm not trying to dip it into really small test tubes of samples. But really happy with it so far. I'm going to go ahead and do the Brunch date color really quickly, and then I'm going to, if I land on that one, I'm still filling it, I'm going to go ahead and fill it with the Brunch date by Colorverse. It reminds me of fall, which is where we're in now, so that's the reason why I'm kind of like landing on this right now. Oops, not enough. Oh, this is paler than I imagined it to be. Hold on just a second. Oh, maybe not. Oh, reverse writing. Let's see how that does. Well, looks like it has some ability to reverse right. Let me get this in focus so you guys can now see the paper. There we go. Okay, I just am not seeing enough of this color to like. Okay, sorry about that. I don't know where this left off, but the Colorverse color was not the best writing experience. I think I'm going to have to go with a deeper color for autumn. It's just not giving me the feel of the color that I really want to have. So I've got a couple of the, I've got a Rose Noir from Mount Verde, and I've got a Platinum Lavender Black that I might end up going with. And I have I've got a Diamine Coral. Let's try that one. I'm trying to get a color for fall that I can write with, and that's why I was going to land on the initial one for the brunch date, but it's writing so poorly as far as showing up that I don't think I can stick with that color. So I'm going to try Diamine Coral and see what that looks like. See if that's going to give me a little bit more punch. Guys, I don't know. It doesn't scream fall to me. It screams a weird color. So I'm undecided now. I was saying before that I might just go ahead and load it up with Platinum Black and call it the day. But I really kind of want a color for fall. So I'm going to have to play around with this a little bit and see what color I'm going to land on. Okay, so that's all there is for this particular video. Part 2 will be another unboxing. I've got another video coming out that I want to go ahead and shoot. So after you see this one, feel free to, and I'll link them together below. But this paper, again, writes like a dream. You know, like there's no ghosting on it. It takes fountain pen ink really, really well. So if you get a chance, again, I got these from Allura Leather out of Wisconsin, and you can find her information. I will put the links either at the end of the video or down in the comment sections with the descriptions to her shop and Etsy as well. Great customer service, very friendly. Just all around really good buying experience, even though we had a little bit of a flub to start it off with. Alright guys, this is enough for this particular video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Otherwise, take care, stay healthy, stay safe, and until the next one, take care. Bye!